the Sustainable Agriculture and Food Innovation Platform. That's a platform that was set up in October 2009. The objective is to help the businesses in the areas that we've just spoken about. The commitment that we've got in the programme that myself and David Alves look after is £90 million coming from DEFRA, who have put in 30 million, BBSRC, who have put in 10 million, Scottish Government invest as and when they, and our core funder is, of course, BIS, the Department of Business, Innovation and Skills. They put in 50 million. The areas that we operate in is crop productivity, livestock production. In both of those areas, we're talking about breeding, we're talking reproduction, nutrition, health, be it in crop or livestock. All aspects of primary production are in consideration there. When it comes to post-farm gate environment, the reduction of food chain waste, I say post-farm gate, I'm really talking from store to consumer point of purchase rather than purely off-farm waste. And of course, overarching everything is the reduction in GHG emissions. So reducing that carbon footprint, if you like, is something that is central to all our activities. That includes not compromising nutritional value, not compromising nutritional safety, and not compromising biodiversity. Now, the biodiversity is a slightly strange thing. Of course, we'll compromise biodiversity in the centre of the field when you're dealing with a monoculture, but overall, of course, we don't want to be doing anything that's going to impact into the wider environment in a detrimental kind of way. Everyone likes to claim sustainability as part of their USP, if you like. This is plagiarism. I've taken this purely from the Royal Society report on reaping the benefits, but I think it encapsulates an awful lot of what we want to see embraced in the proposal put forward. Sustainable systems, be they actual products, actual equipment, or what have you, the use of particular equipment, will tackle things in a way that allow that activity to be persistent, resilient, responsive, and benevolent. Okay, that kind of drives the thinking, and it does lay various question marks over some of those that have claimed sustainability. I'll not go into any more detail there, but you do have to think about the overall impact and all the resources that are being utilised if you want to try and tick the boxes in all of these areas. So, our whole supply chain innovation, we take things from the point of primary production right through to the point of purchase by the consumer. Our activity stops when it comes off the shelf. Okay, we're not within our SAF-IP, if you allow me to use that acronym. We're not about innovations and technologies in the home. We're not going to be funding people to develop a new fridge, for example, a new intelligent fridge that work out what's in there, what recipes to come out with, or what have you. But we are about technologies that will influence consumer behaviour. So, intelligent packaging systems, for example, an intelligent banana skin, around something, and nicely change colour by the time it's gone off. That kind of thing is very much in our thinking, but not once it's gone into the home, because we all know and understand how much waste is happening there. The kind of things we've done and undertaken, just to give you an idea, our first port of call was the crop protection call, in which we had 100 expressions of interest. We culled quite a few of them, because this was our very first foray into the market, if you like, and people didn't really understand what it was that we're driving at. People were coming out, I'm going to use this word once, never again, link. People were used to the Link kind of responsive mode program. Okay, we are not a replacement for Link. We are not responsive mode. Some of the money that was used in Link has come into this, but it's not the same animal. And as a consequence, a lot of the applications didn't really grasp this concept of business-led and the profit element and so on. So we culled quite a few. We took forward 58 to second stage, full stage application, and eventually, of course, we funded the 32 projects. That was 13.5 million, which meant that with match funding, some 27 million of research was undertaken in your approach to crop protection. And it covered engineering solutions, plant breeding, biological control, all that kind of stuff. So that was our first programme. The next one we tackled was sustainable protein production. That had two elements. The first being increasing the domestic supply of protein. Europe is something like 30% self-sufficient in protein. We know particularly that the monogastrics, the pigs and poultry, are heavily reliant on soya. China's drinking soya in like you wouldn't believe. Their consumption's gone up 3,000% or something. They produce more pigs than the rest of the world combined. What are we going to do? We might be able to afford to buy it just now, but what if it's not available? You know, what if it's all GM and there's a blanket ban? What if China take it all and South America cuts Europe off the market? What are we going to do? So the increase in supply, looking at legumes and alternatives is one thing, but then improving the conversion efficiency was a very important part of that. And what we recognised very early on was that whilst aquaculture was not part of our programme initially, it was clearly a home that needed to be brought into play here, particularly for things like algal proteins, novel proteins, and also recognising that aquaculture, there's 1 million meals a day of seafood. It's about 85–90% of value of the Scottish beef industry, for example. It's getting up there. It's really important. So we brought that together. So with that, these were the mix of projects that we funded. You can see that both the plant and animal sector were well represented. We were concerned that the ruminant sector weren't going to be able to engage because the capacity in terms of the funding available perhaps might not have been there in the ruminant livestock sector, but it did. It came up with the goods. And aquaculture, whilst there were fewer projects, because it's such a niche product, they were larger and very significant. And these typically represent kind of grant size that we'd be looking to put forward in the collaborative R&D proposals. But there's no limit. There's no lower end, there's no upper end. They're all there, they will all be considered, they will all be ranked by independent assessors and taken forward on their merit, not on the scale of the project. So, the collaborative R&D call in food processing and manufacturing efficiency. That's where we're going next.